His family would call him Robbie. He was 41. On Monday afternoon, an interaction with police just went terribly wrong. Now I spoke with his niece this afternoon, who was, of course, just shocked by this whole shooting.
Oh, Robbie. Uncle Robbie.
Stephanie Thompson is Robbie's niece. But since they're so close in age, she says really they're more like brother and sister.
I've been knowing Robbie before Robbie knew himself.
Earlier this week, she got the news. She was driving when her dad called.
When he told me, I immediately pulled over and I was just overcome with grief.
Uncle Robbie was shot and killed by police.
I can't believe it.
So here's what police say happened. A 2-year veteran on the force, Officer Anand Badgujar, was finishing a call near Three Oaks Drive. That's when he called for assistance to investigate what they're calling a suspicious person. That was Robbie. So the officer went to speak with Robbie right here in this area, and that's when they say he was combative and started assaulting the officer. So the officer tried to pull out the pepper spray and use that. Then it appeared that Robbie was starting to walk away. So the officer called for assistance, went back to the car to turn off the ignition. That's when things escalated. Police say Robbie then started walking towards the officer, then running. The officer started backpedaling. That's when the officer discharged the weapon. According to police, White then stood over the officer and continued assaulting him. That's when the officer started shooting again.
This investigation is ongoing.
Captain Paul Stark says there was body camera video, which they're reviewing now. There were also witnesses. When this investigation is over, it's not going to be reviewed by the Montgomery County AG's office, but Howard County, a policy they've had for years.
It's all about transparency and removing perception of bias.
As for Stephanie, we asked her about this police account. She cringed just hearing that word, attack.
Even when you say that word, my chest tightens.
But for now, sitting on the porch, which Robbie called home, the family's just hopeful for more answers soon.
Just pray for us and pray for the officer. That's all I can say.
So during our investigation, we did also look into any criminal history here, and we did find that White had a number of charges dating back some 2 decades, but they weren't violent crimes, but rather things like theft or trespassing. Right now, though, the family's just remembering him for his kind spirit and love for the family. Really, they're just in shock with this whole thing. Deborah?
I can imagine, Evan, of course they are. And as for that officer involved in the shooting, he's now going to be on paid administrative leave until that investigation is over.